Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand.
The competition format for the Olympic Games for windsurfing is it's the same as the other sailing classes, in that we have 11 races, 10 races over 7 days, 2 races a day, 2 lay days, and then the final race will be the top 10 boards go through and double points. We race around a course. It's usually an upwind leg followed by a downwind leg. We do 2 laps. First over the line gets 1 point, 20th over the line gets 20 points, and so on. Our race lengths are about 30 minutes a race. It's an upwind downwind leg, so we'll zigzag upwind, that's called beating, and we will we'll run downwind, and the windier it is, the higher the angles, and the lighter the wind, the lower the angles. Throughout the different weather conditions, you do have specialists in each kind of zone, if you like. And generally, the smaller guys are good in the light wind, and the bigger guys are big and fast in the stronger winds. I'm pretty much in the middle, so it's kind of jack of all trades. It's a good place to be to win a regatta after 7 days, because you've normally got a bit of everything. But if you can specialise in everything, then that's obviously the dream. But you want to be just pretty good in all over. The course for the Olympic Games will be down in Weymouth and Portland. We'll have 4 or 5 race areas, 1 inside the harbour and 4 outside the harbour.
It was really unique to see somebody with a windsurfer, and then it grew to be the fastest growing sport in the world.
One of the countries where windsurfing became extremely popular, Germany, I think the popularity was on these little inland lakes. There were so many people who wanted to windsurf, they had to race in the water.
It was such an in thing. You'd be driving around the Autobahn and, 1 out of every 3 cars had a windsurfer on it.
By the late 1970s, windsurfing fever had Europe firmly in its grasp. Europeans that were attracted more to individual than team sports took to windsurfing like a swarm of bees on honey. Freestyle sailing broke the mold of triangle regatta racing and opened up new venues for artistic flair and aerobatic expression. What began with a spin and a rail ride had evolved into trickery that boggles the mind. Still, it was the early days of freestyle that bring back memories of when our sport was dancing.
Back then, there were a lot of people windsurfing, hundreds. A world championship would have 800 people, and a start was critical.
Google his name and 70,000 hits arise. In 1976, he won his first overall world championship title at the age of 13. 23 world titles later, Robbie Nash has become a household name.
Robbie Nash, Robbie Nash, Robbie Nash, Robbie Nash.
Robbie Nash, Robbie Nash, Robbie Nash, Robbie Nash.
First thing comes to my mind with Robbie, he was the king.
The king. He's the icon, he's the man. He's Elvis Presley of windsurfing.
I'm recognized more in some places than other places. I can walk around in America all year and probably hardly ever get recognized, and when I do, it's usually a European tourist that recognizes me in an airport. And yeah, in some places it's everywhere you go. You go to Germany, everybody knows who I am. You know, your 80-year-old grandmother would probably know who I am.
It's a natural thing for him. He was just so smooth, so dominant, so dynamic. He never lost. He always was so amazing on the water and so aggressive. He had all the elements put together.
The early 1980s saw a period of tremendous growth for windsurfing. Participation was at an all-time high. The Professional World Cup Tour was born, and the sport was awarded with Olympic status in the '84 Games. In Hawaii, riders were taking the sport to new rocket levels, and equipment developed at a feverish pitch. In Oregon, high wind river sailing changed sleepy towns into thriving communities. In Europe, places like Lago di Garda became hotbeds for the sport. Windsurfing was even brought indoors in France, fueled by high-powered fans and spectators. To those lucky to have lived it, it was the golden era of windsurfing.
We had to now start thinking technically on our gear. We had to start thinking about equipment that was going to move faster, equipment that was going to perform more efficiently. We had to think about different sail designers, and this was probably an area that we were trying to keep at bay for a long time because we were one-class design racers. And it was almost a place that when you stepped over that line, then you were going to be in it forever.
It was just crazy. You know, it seemed like every month there was new equipment. The boards did this radical jump from, like, you know, 10.5-foot boards right down to 7-foot wave boards. And we got on these 7-foot surfing style boards, and it just, you know, suddenly it was like surfing.
If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be surfing like California. You'd see them wearing their baggies, Warachi sandals too, a bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA. You'll catch them surfing at Del, Ventura County line, Santa Cruz and Trinidad, Australia's Caribbean, all over Manhattan, and down Doheny Way. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. We'll all be planning out a route we're gonna take real soon. We're waxing down our surfboard, we can't wait for June. We'll all be gone for the summer, we're on safari to stay. Tell the teacher we're surfing, surfing USA.